So we're going to be doing what you already know a little bit about, but we're going to distinguish between explicit and recursive. Remember, explicit means if I wanted the 52nd term, I could find it. But if I wanted the 52nd term, if it's recursive, I have to get the 51st term. Okay? So first what they want us to do is determine if the sequence is arithmetic. It is. Plus 3 plus 3. Then they want you to find the common difference. That's what I did. And find the 52nd term and the explicit formula. Okay? So the formula is a sub n equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d. So the first term is 36 plus n minus 1 times 3. Distribute, distribute. Put those together. 33 plus 3n equals a sub n. Okay. Now that I got my formula, take the n, plug it in for 52. So 33 plus 3 times 52. 33 plus 156. 189. A sub 52. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. I look here. Pattern is negative 30, negative 30. So my D is negative 30. I've got my first term. I remember the formula. So A sub n equals negative 13 plus n minus 1 times negative 30. Distribute, distribute. Put those two together. Okay. Side note, let's say you want to check your answer and make sure you were right. Let's say I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going too fast. I'm not sure I actually know what I'm doing. I could actually use, let me lift this up. Let me write down the formula. Go, hey, well, I know my fourth term. My fourth term is negative 103. So if I plug in 4, I can see if I'm actually doing it right. 17 minus 30 times 4 is 120. 120 minus 17 is negative 103. Oh, I actually did it right. It's nice to know how to check it. Now find the 52nd term. Take 52, plug it in there. 17 minus 30 times 52. 17 minus 30 times 50 is 1,500. And 1,500 and 30 times 2 is 16. 15 is 60. So negative 1543, A sub 52. Hopefully I did that right. Okay. Same thing with this one. You know what? Just for the rest, all I need to see is that you can do the pattern. So my D is negative 30. And then here my D is 7. Here my D equals negative 2. And here my D equals 3. And the same thing. Yeah, I think you understand it. I don't think we need to do any more. But what I need you to get is this is what you're doing for an explicit formula. Okay? All right. For some reason, my Zoom is not working all of a sudden. So let me see if I can figure out what's going on here. All right. There were some technical difficulties, but we're good now. All right. Let's focus on the recursive sequence. So my recursive sequence means, hey, if you want one term, you have to find, you have to get the term right before. So when I'm doing the recursive sequence, that's when we're going to be going A sub n equals, I don't know, something, if it's arithmetic, A sub n minus 1, either plus a number or minus a number. So when it's arithmetic, highlight that in yellow, when it's arithmetic, it's either going to be plus a number or minus a number, because either the pattern is you're adding something or you're subtracting something. So when I look here, this is minus 4, minus 4. So my recursive sequence is A sub n equals A sub n minus 1 minus 4. That is my recursive sequence. And if you ask for my 52nd term, that's going to be a little annoying because I have to find my 51st, which means I have to find my 50th, my 49th. So I'm not going to ask you that question on a test. Okay? I might ask for the next term, and the next term would be 22. But I won't ask for the 52nd term. But what I need you to get is the difference between an explicit and recursive. In an explicit sequence, you want the 52nd term? Great. You want the 33rd term? Great. But in a recursive sequence, if you want any term, you're going to have to get the previous ones before, and then you can eventually get to it. Okay. Let's go to the next one, zooming the other way. Okay. I'm going to find out if this is arithmetic. Well, the problem is this is plus 8 and this is plus 16. This is not arithmetic. So you can't find the common difference and you can't find the 52nd term doing this way. Okay. If you want to see the pattern, this is 1 squared, 3 squared, 5 squared, 7 squared. But this is the first term, the second term, the third term, and the fourth term. So if you see, it gets pretty complex. All right. So with that being said, let's go to the next one. Oh, wow, this is plus 2, and this is plus 8. It's not even a arithmetic sequence, so we can't find it out. And if we look here, this is times 2, this is times 3, and that's times 4. So it's not arithmetic or geometric. All right, hopefully the next one will work. This one is minus 9, minus 9, minus 9. Yay, it's arithmetic. Recursive means a sub n minus 1 minus 9. Now here's what I need to make clear. This n minus 1 is small. This is normal size. Okay? So this is a sub n minus 1, and then a big minus 4. This is a sub n minus 1, then a big minus 9. That means, hey, you want the next term? Take the previous guy and subtract 9. All right? This one looks like minus 100, minus 100. So a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 minus 100. I'm going to make it more clear. That has to be small, and that has to be normal size. These should be the same thing. And finding the 52nd term is super annoying. This one is plus 4 plus 4. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus 4. And once again, finding the 52nd term is super annoying. All right? That's everything arithmetic. Now let's go to the back and do everything geometric. Okay, it's the same game. If it's an explicit sequence, I can find the 8th term. It doesn't matter. I see times 6 times 6. Use my geometric formula, which means I need the first term, times the ratio to the n minus 1. That's my formula. Obviously, if I was really fancy, I would just write it as a sub n equals 6 to the n minus 1. But I'll take it. That's fine. Now I'm going to take the 8, plug it in. So I'm going to go 6 to the 8 minus 1, and I'm not going to pretend I'm that cool. And I'm going to go 6 to the 7th power. So the 8th term of this geometric sequence is 279,936. Next problem, times 3 times 3. A sub n equals the first term times this to the n minus 1. That's my formula. Then take the 8th term, plug it in. 3 times 3 to the 8 minus 1. I got to step it up because I can't help myself. 8 minus 1 is 7. 3 to the 7th, but I have another 3. So it's actually just 3 to the 8th. If you don't know what I'm saying, you're going to manually plug it in. The 8th term of this geometric sequence is 6561. Okay. This one, the ratio is times negative 6. So a sub n equals the first term times negative 6 to the n minus 1. I want to be clear, when it's positive, you don't need to have it in parentheses. When it's negative, you do. Take the negative, plug it in. Oh, plug the negative, the 8. Show my work. I don't need to plug in the 1, but I need to make sure when I'm using my calculator that I put the negative in parentheses. Otherwise, I will get the wrong answer. Okay? And that's negative 279, which makes sense. So a sub 8 equals negative 279,936. Okay? For the West, just be good at finding the ratio. The ratio is 4, ... Okay? This one's up, the ratio is 2. Right? Now this one isn't as obvious to me, so I'm going to divide it. 968 divided by 96. Okay, that's 10.08. How do I know if it's really going to work? 9688 divided by 968. 10.008. Oh my gosh, it works. Okay. So when I do that one, I can get it as an improper. That's kind of a mean one. So they have 10 and 1, 121. The way you change it to an improper is you go 10 times 121 plus 1. which is 1, 2, 1, 1 over 1, 2, 1. Okay, you get the idea of explicit. That's what I needed you to get. Now I have to do recursive. Remember what recursive means. I can't find the 8th term until I get the 7th term. Here, I can find whatever you want. So this time when I'm doing the recursive, it's a sub n equals a number times a sub n minus 1. Whether the ratio is a whole number or whether the ratio is a fraction, it's that number multiplied. So let's do the first one. A sub n equals, well, what am I doing? I'm multiplying by -2. So -2 times the previous guy. That means if I want to get this next number, I have to go -2 times 16, and that gets me the next number. Finding the 8th term, not as annoying as the 52nd term, but still annoying because I need the 7th term and the 6th term and the 5th term. Okay? Explicit is a lot easier. Find the ratio. A sub n equals -4 a sub n minus 1. That's my formula for my recursive. And of course, for the recursive, you would, oops, I lied. You've got to also say a sub 1 equals -2. A sub 1 equals -1. So I've got to actually state what the first term is, which means on all of these, I've got to fit in there a sub 1 equals 38 as part of my answer. A sub 1 equals -4 because I have to say my first term. A sub 1 equals 39. And a sub 1 equals -6. This stuff isn't on the quiz, by the way, but it will be on your test. Okay? But it could be bonus if it's applicable. So let me do one completely correct so I won't mess up. R equals -3. A sub n equals -1 times a sub n minus 1. And a sub 1 equals -1. That's a complete perfect answer. These stayed negative. R equals 4. A sub n equals 4. A sub n minus 1. I have to multiply the previous guy by 4, and then I get the right answer. A sub 1 equals -1. And these are pretty similar. So I think you get it. Okay? So you just need to make sure that you get to the front. All of this stuff is done. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. And this needs to be done. And then Monday will be your quiz.